On today's episode of the Film Breakdown Show, we talk special teams, punt returns, punt coverage, and we talk great red zone defense for our guy, London Fletcher. Then we look at Philadelphia, how they play their quarters match, and why Quinyon Mitchell is such a beast, but maybe Terry can get after him. We'll see. And then what is wrong with this offense? Got a couple clips looking at that. It all starts right now. Welcome to the Film Breakdown Show. I'm Logan Paulsen here with just the guy, Jace. You might not hear him on today's show, but he's always here helping me out. And we're in the Big Bear AI Command Center studio. And we're going to talk about something that I think is pretty fantastic. And that's our guy, Jalen Lane, record tying in terms of punt returns. Let's talk about the one that he had against Oakland, and we'll look at the one he had against New York. So to me, they're really similar when you watch them, right? Because what makes a good punt return? First off, you got to get great effort from these guys up here in the core, right? And we're going to talk about that more as they get down the field. But first off, let's look at this punt. You need a good punt. And what I mean, a good punt for a punt team is different than a good punt for a punt return. So this thing sails on him. So when Jalen catches this football, look at the amount of space between him and the nearest person, right? What is that, 15, 20 yards? So this is a bad punt if you're a punting team. This is a great punt for a punt return. So let's talk about it. So right here on the far side, we've got a double vice scenario. This is a double vice. The thing I love about this is the second vice guy who's this player right here, I think that's Percy Butler, is bailing from the vice. That means he's free because Tyler Owens is absolutely locking his guy down. That is what you want from a double vice. Hold that guy far away from the returner, let him catch the football, and now we got action. Our extra guy can go block here, and then watch as this thing gets down the field. B-Mitch talks about this all the time. When the returner attacks downhill, watch how these guys covering slow down. They have to come to balance to make these tackles. Watch them slow down. What does that allow us to do? Let's get leverage. We create a nice seam here. There's one guy in the hole. Who is it? It's probably the long snapper. Can we make him miss? I think so. This is a well-executed return. I even didn't get this one, Jason, right here. This great block right there, not getting a penalty. You're going to do a little flyby, no clipping there. And then Jalen Lane makes one miss, and then now it's up to mom, dad, and God in terms of the talent I've got. Can I outrun the punter? Absolutely. This is exactly what you're looking for on a punt return. Long punt, great leverage, and a guy who can take it to the house, and that's what Jalen Lane can do. Now, to me, it's really, really similar to, oh, no, this isn't it. We're just talking good special teams on this, boys. So I didn't get the second return on here, but hey, let's talk about a good punt coverage because that's what our guy does, stress away. So look where he's at. He's at the 5-yard line here. He's way backed up. So this is a great juxtaposition, right? What makes this good compared to the other one? Watch. Great punt, good hang time. Look at our returners. Look at our gunners. You want to cover a punt? If you're a Washington Commander, look at our guy T.O. down here. He's going to run down, cover this thing up. Excellent job. Look at the proximity he has to the punt receiver, right? The punt returner. He's right there. I got to make him stop his feet. Does he do it? T.O. absolutely gets that done. And then we've got a bunch of commanders. Nick Ballore out of left field coming to deliver a shot. Love that. And then watch all these guys. Look at the pursuit to the football, man. This is like dogs on a bone here. Look at how different this feels compared to Jalen Lane's touchdown return, right? This is how you cover a kick with relentless pursuit. Great gunner play. That's the thing that I want to point out is great gunner play allows you to get that done. So in the clip on Jalen Lane, gunner play, not good. T.O., we got two of the best gunners in the league, in my opinion. Percy Butler and Tyler Owens, right? Getting after this thing. And look at this guy run, man. He is 6'4". He's 215, and he's going to cover this thing up, make him stop his feet, slow him down enough, and then we got rabid dogs to the football, man. That gets me juiced up. Awesome job there. That's even probably more exciting than the punt return, Jason. You think so? No, probably not. That's right. I was just getting a little over my skis there. All right, so now our guy Fletch on the booth review said we were talking. That's a podcast. He's like, my favorite play from this game is this play right here. So this is the 4th down against the Giants. And what he talked about is passing stuff off. So look, they're going to do like this little kind of nonsense motion to start. Look at how our guys respond, right? We're kind of going to bump over coverage. We're going to kind of make sure we're communicating. They reset the formation. Jackson Dart is getting information here, right? He's trying to discern the coverage. They motion across. They're going to run what I call like a tight scissors. So here, corner, skinny post, really, really skinny post. And the idea is that this player, who is Bobby Wagner, is going to be late to passing this off, and we're going to miss this window right here because Percy Butler is going to widen with the corner. He's going to be Bobby Wagner is going to be late to defend this grass. I'm going to be able to slide a fastball right in there on the post, and that's a really well-designed red zone play in my opinion. But that's not what happens. Look at Bobby carrying this vertical nice and square. Again, our guy Percy here has great vision on his work. The second his work goes away, the second his work goes to this corner route, he knows I can pass this off to Noah Igbenogany right here and watch his eyes immediately transition inside and watch him able to cut this little out route off. Excellent job here, man. This is well-executed defense. And I'm sorry, it wasn't a post, so really what this executes as is kind of like a tight pylon route. So it's like this, and he's going to fill in right behind. And the same principle applies, whether it's a post or a tight out, where I'm trying to mess with how you match this up. And they do a great job here. Bobby does, carrying this vertical. And then Quan, man, look at these eyes back inside. It almost gets the pick here. This is really challenging to do, really well executed from a coverage standpoint, man. I love to see this level of detail come to life, especially late in the year. And I wish our guy Fletch was here to talk about it. We'll have to set that up next time, Jason. What do you think? Absolutely. Let's get him on the show. All right, so great punt return. Obviously, Jalen Lane's 90-yarder was fantastic. Great punt coverage. And I love this red zone in terms of how they're matching. If you guys want, okay, some people say, well, what's the coverage, Logan? This is always tough for me to talk about coverages because this feels like a tight kind of Tampa 2, maybe cover 6. You see how this guy's getting deep? This guy's playing here, and this guy's playing attached. 6 is quarters. So quarters would be up here. Half player, flat player here. So probably some type of cover 6 where Bobby Wagner is carrying the middle of the field almost like a Tampa player. So in the red zone, you get these tough coverages. You don't get to execute them a lot, but this is a knockout in terms of executing this. Love to see it. All right, so now let's talk a little bit about Philadelphia. So they are a quarters match team. What does that mean? It means they play base quarters. Everyone knows what base quarters is. It's here, 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 right? There's 4 guys playing deep. If there's 4 verticals, it's going to play like man coverage. You get 3 underneath hook players, right? These guys right here, 1, 2, 3. They play match coverage. And so what they're going to do is they're going to lock the backside of this quarters coverage. Locked. I have this guy, man. Quinyon Mitchell, dudes, is absolutely balling. He is playing excellent because they put him on this island all the time. What does that allow them to do? It allows them to flood this zone. They've got 3 receivers over here. They're gonna flood this. They're gonna be able to push this here. He's gonna match the back. Nakobe Dean's gonna match the back, and they're gonna end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coverage players over 3 route runners. And people say, why are Philly so good at defending the pass? It's because Vic Fangio has an absolute stud down here at the bottom who can win in man-to-man coverage situations, so now I can flood zones. Let's check out how it plays out. I think they're going to run some type of all-go special here. Yeah, so they're going to go kind of deep cross. I think this is a cross or a dig, I don't remember, and he's going to run a little pivot route here. Look at our guy Quinyon Mitchell. He is in perfect phase, and now we get all these coverage players over here. Like, I don't care what route you're running here, it's dead. Like, there's nowhere to go with the football. And then they rely on the pass rush to really get home. This is a pretty good job by LA's offensive line with the pocket here, letting Herbert see this throw. But it doesn't matter because, again, like, can we get this ball completed down here? I kind of like this matchup for the Commanders, but I don't like Ladd McConkey on Quinyon Mitchell because he's going to win that matchup 9 out of 10 times. He has one of – huh? So the thing that Terry, that's a great question, Jason. Why is Ladd not as good as Terry? Ladd's like 6 foot, 190 pounds. Terry's 6 foot, 200 pounds and plays strong. Like, we did a breakdown on the Command Center show this week talking about Terry's play strength when he catches the football. He does such a great job. There's a play versus Kansas City where they're in a very similar phase. The DB is kind of playing him just slightly over the top. Terry's working to kind of work by. The ball's in the air. It's landing like right here. Mariota puts the ball way out in front. And Terry has the strength to push through this contact, round the corner, and then catch the football. Ladd doesn't play that way. That's not his game, right? I think that's an underrated element of Terry's game. And one, in this game, if I'm Cliff, I might actually seek this matchup out. He's played like 7 of the top 10 wide receivers this year, Quinyon Mitchell, and has given up like less than 100 yards. So not many people have won this matchup. But we all know Terry can win this. He won it last year a couple times. So this is what makes them so good. This coverage principle of like we're matching concepts at a really high level. We're getting numbers in coverage, okay? So how do we break that? Obviously, you can win one-on-ones, which you just saw right here. I think Terry's got a good shot at doing something like that, okay? Now, this is when it doesn't work. So they're going to get in a 3-by-1. This is really a 4-by-1 because the back's offset here. They're going to lock the backside like they did before. Quinion's going to play man here. That's a tight end. So that's another thing you can do here that I think would be valuable too, is get their best coverage player wasted on a lesser receiver, right? Like, could you put somebody over there like that you don't care, you know the ball's not going to them, and overload the passing strength with good pass catchers? That's another thing you can do here. But watch, you're going to play it the same way. We're going to get man coverage. Sorry, Quinion's back here. I got a little excited. Quinion's right here. We're going to play man coverage. He's going to lock that down. Our guy, Reed Blankenship, his eyes are going to immediately flash to the 3-receiver side. They're going to have numbers over top. Nakobe Dean is supposed to have the back, but he gets a little bit lost because the back's stepping up in protection. He loses him in protection with his protection principles here. Loses that. And then watch what happens. So he goes over here. He says, I'm going to add to the coverage surface, which is his rule. The back gets out late. And watch what Herbert's able to do here. He's able to kind of step up in the pocket, evade the rush, and then find him late. And this happens to them probably twice a year, where they've dropped the back, they've dropped a crosser, because again, they're working so hard to match the receiving strength with extra guys over here, that they forget about the back, or they forget about a crosser late, or they forget about a shallow player working across the field. What's up, Jason? No, I'm saying like twice a year. Like they're really good at this coverage. They're really good at this coverage. But what I am saying is, like, if you can protect it, it stresses the coverage. And so every time it happens, it's because the quarterback's extending the play, stepping up in the pocket, the rush doesn't quite get home, and they lose because, again, like for example, this is a good look at it here. With Reed Blankenship playing across the formation, where's my thing here? He's playing over here, right? So we're flooding the zone. We're basically counting on the rush to get there. This guy runs a post. Let's say the back's in the backfield over here, and they're playing man with the linebacker, and he runs a wheel. Like, this guy is not as good a coverage player as this guy is a route runner. The problem is it just takes time for that route to develop. So basically they'll drop the coverage every once in a while, but also if you can protect it, you can flood man matchups. And again, with their overloading to zones, those man players don't have a ton of help. So that's kind of what I would look at here. And can we exploit that in this matchup? Does that make sense?
Twice a year, though.
Wait, let's make it 3 times. What do you think? 3 times but for explosive plays is what I'm saying. So, all right. So let's go to run design. So versus the Chicago Bears, they had a really challenging time stopping the run. And you got to give a lot of credit to Ben Johnson, quite frankly, because what they're doing here is they're getting into what I would call a 21 personnel look, meaning you got this and this here. This is kind of like, looks like a traditional weak set. If the tight end's strong, the back set weak, right? And now we're going to motion across the formation. I love this for a couple of reasons. One, we start the tight end over here. They're going to set the 3 technique to the tight end. This is important. It's hard to run at a 3 technique because the 3 technique plays through the inside shoulder of the guard and there's no double team. It can be really challenging. But when we run away from the 3 technique, we get this guard to kind of pop this up here. This guy's going to push this across. And look at where the linebackers are. They're way plussed over because they're expecting some type of strong rotation or a weak rotation here. So now we get a double team, an excellent double team on the 3 technique. Let's just watch the double team, Jason. Dude, what are we doing here? This is Jalen Carter, man. Let's check his ID and throw this man out of the club. Get out of here. Totally displaced. He started that play on the outside of the hash. I'm going to leave an arrow there. Let's see if it stays. And watch where this ends up. He is out of the picture. You know what I'm saying, Jason? Like, this is because we formation this. We ensured the 3 technique was where we wanted them. And now we're going to run again. It looks like this run is going this way, and it is. But we're designing this run to run here and then cut back because we can get a brilliant block here. These guys just have to kind of hold space here. The tight end's going to come over. They just have to, sorry, the tight end. I've got my back over here. The tight end's got to hold the space. See this? Easy. Everyone's just kind of holding their positions. right? And then look at the angle on this double team, how long we can stay on it to push over here to Zach Bond. Like, that's what we're looking for here on this double team. And it's going to be excellent because the back can now cut back. So we got the 3 technique. That looks great. Why does this play work so well? It's because look at this. We're not fitting this run correctly. He's here. He's here. One of us has to have the C gap, which is this gap right outside the tackle. Because of the action of the quarterback, see how he's booting out here? This looks like quarterback keep, right? You're running this guy across the formation to the flat. He thinks, I'm going to go get a sack here. So watch how he slightly hesitates. Reed Blankenship plays outside of this because he says, I have to be the flat player. You get 2 guys in the same gap outside, and you'd have to block anybody. Look at that, Jason. That's outstanding. So we get a great block on the 3 technique. Love that. The action of this play pushes this guy across. He plays out because of the quarterback action. He thinks I have to get to the flat. We get a huge lane right here, huge running lane because of how we formationed it to start and our execution in terms of the quarterback on the boot action. Love it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a great point. Like, we have personnel that's similar. Like, if that's Deebo Samuel, like, you have to give him a ton of respect when he crosses the formation. So this is definitely something we can do and we can accomplish. And we showed a little bit of this last week versus the Giants. So love to see this, okay? Big run here. Now, another run in this game that I love is this kind of reverse wham. And the reason it works so well is we're going to motion the tight end in. He's going to do like a little like yo-yo motion. And instead of on this motion, usually you come out and you block this guy. We double team here. We double team here. He blocks out. That's how you would normally fit the run. These guys would just easily kind of step here, fit back, because this run is designed to kind of wind back in this area. But we're not going to do that. We're going to wham or cut the 3 technique. The tight end's going to cut the 3. Boom, we're going to cut that guy. Watch Zach Bond when the tight end comes across the formation. He plays out of his gap. He fits it front side. And because of the run action, because we've tweaked it slightly, right? We got the tackle blocking out here. Because we've tweaked it slightly, we've created this beautiful seam here for the running back to just run straight down the highway for a big gain. Look at that, man. And again, it's just a slight change on runs that you've probably run before in the past, man. It's beautiful. Like, this is not a heavy lift. This is Wanda. So weak side zone, right? We're going to double team to that guy. But instead of us double teaming here to Zach Bond, we're just going to say, hey, we're going to have the tackle block out. I'm going to escape this to the backer. He's going to come in and cut the 3 technique. We're blocking the same guys, same targeting rules. But because the action is slightly different, the linebacker plays it different. Like, just watch Bond here. Watch how he plays this. Watch how he jumps out of the gap with the tight end coming back. Jumps out. Oh, shoot. And then we got a crease there. Using the action to get that done. It's pretty fantastic. All right, so now let's talk about the offense a little bit here. This was one of the most surprising things that I did in the film breakdown that I've done all season. This is man coverage by the Chicago Bears on first down. Look at this guy run with this. So they're going to man this up. Man, and he's going to man A.J. Brown. Old Philadelphia Eagles, everyone was so afraid to play man coverage because they're worried about getting burned over the top. Like, they're terrified of it, right? So we're going to get this boot here. He's going to try and force the ball to A.J. Brown, and we're going to rally and tackle. Like, I have not seen that happen. First off, everyone's been kind of giving the offensive line heat. I think they've done a really nice job. Look at the protection here. This is a pretty good pocket. Jalen Hurts has time to see this, has big time to see this. And what I would say is this is like a dagger concept. So we're going to run a shallow cross here, shallow cross, dig, post. Look at the space for this dig if he just holds this ball for a beat. There's something wrong with this offense. Like, it's a new offense. They're feeling it out. Like, look, I know this is late in the down, but like, if he is patient on that dig, like, there's explosive plays in space in this offense. It just seems like they're not all on the same page, and it seems like defenses aren't giving them as much respect as they were maybe last year. It kind of feels, Jason just asked, are they trying to force it to A.J. Brown? Kind of feels that way a little bit, doesn't it? Like, they're trying to get him a touch, and we're not reading this out. The protection's good. Great job here. Look at that pocket. Like, that's big-time stuff. It's just, is the ball going to the right spot? Is this too new for the offense? I don't know. So now, kind of to support this point, we're going to look at this. This is, I think, a really well-designed play. It's kind of an old drive concept. So drive, he's going to run a post, I think. He's going to run a dig. And watch this dig come wide open. Like, really nice route here by A.J. Brown. Like, really good job. Our guy, number 2, Jahan Dotson, gets a little bit gummed up here. Watch him at the bottom. And the spacing's a little bit weird. So, like, he should be probably out here. He should kind of work for width, and he should be catching this. He should be finishing his route here. Yeah. Yeah, one of the knocks was play strength, getting a little push. And so look how tight this window is here. It's pretty tight. But I'd say A.J. Brown is still open. So missed the throw, whatever. Let's just look at our guy here. Let's look at our guy. This is, to me, this is bad body language. So you want the receiver to keep running, right? Watch him. He's like, keep running. What are you doing? And that is just not, to me, let's look at the end zone here, Jason, so we can really see what we're talking about here. Keep an eye on him. Like, this ball should be completed, and the spacing here is a little bit funny because the receiver gets jammed, but this is not how I want my quarterback reacting to an incomplete ball. Like, I don't want that. Like, and I know A.J. Brown slows down here, but as a receiver, like, when I see color here, I'm like, who's this ball actually going to? Is it going to him? Because he's running what I would call a swirl route. He's going to run like an inside release, corner, and then come back to the football. I'm running a dig. Look how close we are to each other. Who are you actually throwing this to? A.J. Brown slows down slightly, and then Jalen Hurts gets all worked up. And so these are the types of things I think that are like really interesting when watching Philly, because there's space in this offense. Like, he's open. We got to hit that ball. He's open on the last one. Devontae Smith is open. We're trying to force the ball at A.J. Brown. And I'm not saying they can't find explosive plays. Like on the Command Center show this week, we showed all the explosive opportunities they have, but the offense is just a little bit off. I think the defense is outstanding. I think you can run the football with well-schemed run plays. But again, the offense is a little bit funny. Can you keep them being funny? That's the million-dollar question. Can't wait to watch it this Saturday. This show was filmed at the Big Bear AI Command Center studio. Big Bear AI offers mission-ready AI for a rapidly evolving world, proudly protecting the Washington Commanders and its fans.